What is going on, you guys? YUGIOH here, coming at you with my top 5 budget decks for December 2017. I'm a little late to this. I apologize. I was doing some final things for school, but school ended for me basically yesterday. I just have a few finals to take, but I don't have to go there anymore, so thank God. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. We're gonna start off with our honorable mentions with Grand Maju Daeza decks. Now, this is kind of an oddball to have in here because I've never really heard of this deck being any type of competitive at all, and it's really not, but it's really budget and it has the potential to do so well. This deck has the potential to OTK out of completely nowhere, and it's pretty underrated in my point of view. It has a lot of potential to be one of the best rogue decks in this current meta, with decks like Spirals and Trickstars being the top 2 decks of the current format. The deck plays cards like Macrocosmos, Dimensional Fissure, and all types of banished cards that absolutely destroy any version of Spirals. And if your opponent were to reincarnation you or banish your hand if they're playing Trickstars, it only helps you out in the end. Given this, all the cards needed for the deck are extremely cheap, and I believe if built correctly and with a little bit of luck, it could very likely get a top at a regional. Maybe a YCS, who knows. Now let's get into the top 5 list. At number 5, I have Monarchs Domain, to be exact. This deck is known for its ability to simply prevent extra deck plays by your opponent by locking them out this way. It's been known as a pretty good budget deck, and now more than ever can be a real threat. Of course that this obliterates all other competition except maybe your Trickstar matchup, but for that, if you summon a Vanity's Fiend, you basically shut the entire deck down. Therefore, even though the deck hasn't topped anytime recently, I believe it is worthy of a top 5 spot for the best budget decks. Number 4, Burning Abyss. This deck came out of nowhere back in October, where Michael Former topped a YCS with his Burning Abyss deck. The main point of why this deck can be so successful is because hand traps do basically nothing to the deck. This is a very unexpected deck to see at any type of competitive matchup still. Therefore, it's very unlikely that your opponent will have prepared for this matchup, allowing you to take some wins that would be difficult if you're playing a more meta deck. The only reason why this is not a bit higher is that in order to make this deck more competitive, you're going to have to invest in some hand traps of your own, as well as a few other key cards. Also, it's only gotten a few tops here and there, and the other decks I believe are more powerful. However, if you're able to find decent alternatives for the more expensive staples, then you should be able to make a very decent and potent Burning Abyss deck. Number 3, we got Dinosaurs. Personally, I thought this deck was beyond dead at this point, with Miscellaneous Swords being limited, as well as the True King Lithosygym, or the Earth True King, being banned. But it has found a way to persevere and push through with a few tops recently. There's been a 60 card Lightsworn Dino, and even a normal monster based Dino deck. I guess that just shows that you can never count this deck out. I mean, Soul Eating Oviraptor is still an incredible card, and cards like Double Evolution Pill and Giant Rex only boost the deck's overall explosiveness and consistency, even without True Kings. Number 2, I got Lightsworn Zombie. Lightsworn and Lightsworn Zombie. I guess I was right in my previous top deck video, naming this as one of the top decks. I just believe the deck has so many incredible boss monsters and such a consistent ability to spam the board with huge monsters that it can be enough to win a lot of games. I'm pretty sure we can all kind of guess at this now. It'll be Pendulum Magicians. I don't know how many times I've said this, but if you put every single Pendulum Magician card on TCG Player at 3, it will be around $40. It doesn't matter what the card is. This leaves you around $10 for our 50 budget for the sake of the video to pick up a few staples or a few decent substitute for them, so you can have yourself a solid deck that I feel confident that will help you win in a locals, maybe even a regional. This deck owes its standing in the meta to its incredible interruption ability, as well as a decent grind game, because it is also able to use the pendulum mechanic to summon unreal monsters constantly. It's similar to Lightsworn in that way, but much more consistent due to all the cards that you are allowed to search. Cards like Duelisted Lines, Pendulum Call, Skull Crow Bad Joker, Pendulum Sorcerer. It just makes the deck ridiculously consistent, and that's why it's going to be the top deck probably for a while until it gets hit on the ban list, which I doubt it will happen. So yeah guys, that is my top 5 budget decks for December 2017. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if maybe a deck that you thought should be in this list was not, and maybe it'll be in the next one. Alright, talk to you guys later. Bye.